Is down. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello, hello, hello. All right, we're live. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Central Florida Christian Chamber of Commerce. We're live at
So
San
you all survived the
Lando
year so far with
and
all this
San
mess we're
Pedro.
going through?
Sorry, thank you.
It's been wonderful.
And we have
Is
a
it?
wonderful
Good.
crowd here. I wish you could see
Us
them, but
too. We don't
you
have any
are-
kids
I
in
want to
them, so
welcome
we don't have
Crystal
to worry about
Parker, our
anything.
chamber president.
Well, we have two.
Hi everyone, thank you, Frank. We're so excited about
Yeah.
this new
Well,
segment
exactly.
called
We have a
Live
lot
with
of friends who
Frank.
homeschool. I said,
And
really
we
nothing
just
changed
really
for them.
wanted to kick off this event and give you a little bit of a bird's eye into what was going on and welcome you. And so, Frank, how are you feeling about this crowd today?
You know, this is the biggest crowd I've seen at the Chamber live luncheon, and this is awesome. I'm looking forward to meeting some
got
of
to
these
spend a
new
lot of
people.
time
I
with
see
them.
a lot of new people, which is awesome. This is great. So, for those of you that are live, I met the guest speaker for today, and he's a really cool guy. I always love talking to these retired executives from Disney, and they've just got so much wisdom and knowledge to share with us. So,
you talking?
we're going to be getting
This
started.
password
really
he gave
soon.
me doesn't
We're gonna
work.
Have prayer, the Pledge of
Mary Beth
Allegiance,
would have maybe
and
have an
we're
Yeah.
going to have a wonderful program. I know people are already sitting down and
Yeah,
eating,
ask her.
and it looks like a wonderful meal. You want to join us live next month. Come in person and share your presence with us, and it'll be fantastic. I think this is going to be awesome because it just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Hey Frank, would you be cool if I bring over today's lunch
password for
sponsor
the,
and give him a chance to tell a
Well,
story? But while I do that,
do
maybe
not.
you could just tell a little bit
The
about
fellow
what
gave it
business
to me,
that
but
you're
it
here
doesn't
and
work.
represent, and what makes up this
And I have
Christian
a call
Chamber,
at
all these little
1:30
businesses
from
and
the
big
Netherlands, and I
businesses.
need to get on that.
So I'm Frank Manina. I represent
I'll be up at the front.
my wife, Dr. Dominga Nunez. She's a natural health practitioner, and I'm her marketing and director for all the store functions. She's a wonderful, wonderful health practitioner. She does everything natural. She's very involved in the community, and she wrote recently
I'm
a
not.
book. Her
They tried
first
to get
book
me
is
to eat
out
3
on
times
Amazon called Healing
later.
Anxiety Naturally. If you're interested in that, please check it out. I think you'll find a lot of great information. But I've been a member of the Christian Chamber since it began over 12 years ago, and I just want to welcome up. Are you coming up to speak to me? Come on up. So this is Bill. Bill, share with us a little bit about who you are and why you're here.
Thank you, Frank. Bill Snell, Missionary Ventures. We've had the joy of being part of the chamber for the last 2 or 3 years, and we're the primary sponsor of this event today, which is our joy and privilege. And we're a ministry that's involved in over 100 countries, and it's our privilege to be able to share the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ throughout the world, with the intent to identify and raise up and equip indigenous nationals to do the work of ministry that God's called them.
Sure,
So
absolutely.
instead of just traditional Western
Anything.
missionary
I'm just,
activity,
I got a call
we
at 1:30
do
with the
empowerment,
Netherlands, and
equipment,
I was trying to figure out where
we
it's,
love to do.
and I can't get into the internet here.
Frank is to give
So, no, yeah, sure,
transportation
I didn't
want to overwhelm you.
indigenous
Yeah,
nationals
no,
that
no,
don't have
no.
transportation.
I'm fine.
You can imagine in the
love
bush
to
of
learn a little bit
Africa,
about
you
you.
give a motorcycle, they might actually be able to dodge the lions and and other wild beasts, but the church planting and the evangelism and discipleship explodes when you give them the essential tools to do what God's called them to do. So it's just our privilege to be able to serve the world and thrilled to be part of the chamber.
Yeah.
But
Thank you
also
for
after
coming
you
up and
hire,
sharing
making
with
sure
us.
that they're
Thank you for sponsoring the event today. So it was thanks to Bill for sponsoring this event, and I got Landon coming up to talk about his photography and how he helps out here at the Christian Chamber.
Sure. Hey, Frank. What I am is a visual brand strategist. So we marry the picture to the image. Marry the picture to the story behind it. And what that does is bring maximum exposure to let people know that they're not alone, and makes the business, gives them a humanistic feel to it. So that's what we do now.
Very nice, very nice.
So
And I want to mention, he does all of our photography here at the chamber. So pictures that you see online are being taken by Landon. The pictures that you see today will be coming up in the next couple of weeks.
24, 48
24 to 48 hours. Thank you so much, Landon. So if you want to be in touch with Landon, look him up on the Chamber directory. Thank you, Landon. Thank you for being here and doing your work, doing work to help the Chamber. So this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. So once again, I hope thank you for tuning in today to the Chamber Luncheon event. We have our guest speaker who is a retired Disney executive. I spoke with him earlier, and he told me he doesn't go to Disney anymore. He went there every day for 16 years, and he is done with Disney, and doesn't take his grandchildren to Disney either. So that's just a fun fact. But I have another young man coming up to share a little bit about who he is. Hello, Richard. How are you? It's good to see you. So why don't you share with our live audience who you are and why you're here?
All right. So Richard Buckley with Corporate Chaplains of America, and I'm here because we love the Central Florida Christian Chamber. We have made some great relationships, and we have chaplains in serving 6,000 locations in 45 states, 260 chaplains, men and women, out walking into companies every day to live out our mission statement. Would you like to hear it? So our mission statement is to build caring relationships with the hope of gaining permission to share the life-changing good news of Jesus Christ in a non-threatening manner. So we do that in companies of all shapes and sizes every single day. We build the relationship first, and then we gain permission to speak into the spiritual side of people's lives. So whether it's aging parents that people are caring for, or marriage issues, or just putting a budget together, anxiety, we all know that during this pandemic, mental health issues have gone through the roof. So our team is there to help people with that as well. So.
Thank you so much for coming up and sharing with us, and we'll be talking more with you later. God bless you, Bill. God bless your ministry. So again, if you're just joining live now, I'm Frank Menina. I want to welcome you to our Chamber event live. And as you may not have heard, this is my first time doing this, but I'm enjoying it very much. And I want to share, we've got Miss Knapp here. She doesn't want to do this live.
I thought I had to upgrade.
No, you don't have to upgrade.
Milan, and she's just a brand new chamber member.
Wow, thank you. Welcome to the chamber.
You're online, you're live online. And tell people what you do and how you serve.
Okay, hi. My name is Milan, and thank you for letting me be a part of this awesome group. Crystal, thank you. Anyway, I'm a registered nurse, and I resigned from nursing, though, after over 20 years because I found something called Beamer therapy. And yeah, Beamer therapy. And it works on a tiny vessel, so it's vascular therapy at the cellular level, and it increases that circulation in those tiny vessels by 30%, and it stays like that for 12 to 16 hours after. So every condition can be attributed to interruption in the microcirculation. So it's very rewarding. I'm thrilled to death. I have a company called The Missing Link in Maitland. I hope that you'll come and have a complimentary session. Do I need to tell them my contact info?
I think you should.
Okay, so you can text me 407-617-1964, and we'll work on your microcirculation. So thank you. That's it, I guess, for now. Okay.
Wow, thank you so much. I need to talk to you later after this luncheon. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you for being here and being a new member.
Thank you so much.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yes. So once again, I can't see you, but you can see me. I don't know how many are watching right now, but welcome to the Central Florida Christian Chamber of Commerce lunch event. This is a live event. I wish you could see all the tables out here. I'm counting at least 12 tables with 4 to 5 people per table. It's our biggest lunch event so far since the pandemic happened. And we're so excited. I'm excited to be here. I was called upon this morning to talk a little bit while we're getting ready. Pretty soon we're going to have prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. And then we'll go right into our announcements with Crystal, and our MC, Amy Lloyd, will be coming up soon, and she will share more information with you. So once again, welcome. I'm Frank Menina. I'm the marketing director for my wife's clinic. It's called Herbs Plus. Herbs Plus. She's a natural health practitioner. She does natural medicine. If you ever consider doing natural, please look up my wife on the website for the Christian Chamber. I've got another young man coming up to talk, Mr. Todd. Share with us why you're here.
I'm a young man with old hair.
You're a young man with old hair?
Yes, sir.
You don't get on the roof anymore, do you?
I do, actually.
Oh, that's
Until last
amazing.
Friday.
Okay, well, tell us a little more.
No, I'm just glad to be here today working with the Christian Chamber of Commerce. I've had the privilege of joining the President's Club, and this is just a chance for us to get together and really reminisce, but also to look forward to great opportunities that we have with the Chamber and also with people of like mind, like faith.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So look him up if you have some interest in getting some roof estimates and getting some work done.
I'm Todd at Janning Roofing, but we have multiple reps that work with them. So
Fantastic.
Ask for Todd.
Ask for Todd.
And we are a
Fantastic.
Christian-owned
Thank you for
operating
coming.
Thank you, sir. My pleasure.
Nice to meet you. So I will be leaving here soon, and Amy Lloyd will be coming up to start the program. But again, I want to thank you for signing in, and we're going to turn it over to Amy. Have a wonderful day. God bless you.
Hello. Good afternoon. I heard the mic's not great, but can you guys hear me? Okay? Okay. Well, welcome. It is good to see everybody. It's been a while since I've been standing in front of this group. I think the last time that I was, well, for sure, the last time I was standing up here, I was about to have a baby. So I was extremely pregnant, and he's almost 2 years old. So that shows you how long ago it was. But my name is Amy Lloyd. I am honored to be standing in for our regular MC, Christina Ruzzi, who honestly, I thought that woman was never going to take a break or go on a vacation, that I would never have a chance to get back up here, but she very well deserves to be with her husband Andrew driving through the canyons right now. So I hope they are enjoying their trip, and I am excited to be able to sit up here and act as her stand-in. So thank you, Christy. Thank you, Crystal, for asking me to stand in today as the MC. I want to go ahead and welcome, first of all, everybody that's online and streaming from the comfort of their own home or their office. So, hi. And then, of course, welcome everybody in person. I feel like I heard a rumor this might be the biggest group that we've had in person since COVID. And I would like to take credit for that, thinking it has something to do knowing that I would be speaking today, but I know that it's probably because of Mr. Cockerell. So I will just tell myself it was because of me. But welcome, everybody. It's very exciting to see everybody's beautiful faces without so many masks on. So I also wanted to thank Mr. Frank Menina, who today we had a trial run, our first thing for trying to do a live interview with our online crowd, where it gives everybody a chance to kind of get to know the members and the companies for the online people, while everybody here is in person talking and getting to know each other. So thank you, Frank, for starting that, and hopefully this will be a thing. And hopefully that will be a thing that we can continue to do. So if you are virtual in the future, then you have that to look forward to. So thank you for that. Also, thank you to San Pedro. I don't know if everybody's been here before. This is my second time at this very beautiful location, and it is a great place for the luncheon. So thank you to San Pedro for hosting us here today. And also, the event is hosted by our President's Circle members, which I won't go too much into that, but that's a program that you'll hear more about from Crystal later in the program. So now, before we get too far in, I would like to introduce Mr. Richard Buckley. He is the Regional Vice President at Corporate Chaplains of America, and he's also a member of our President's Circle, and he is going to lead us in the prayer. If everybody would like to stand while he prays for our meal and our event.
Thank you. Let's pray together. Father, thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for this afternoon to slow down and just be in your presence and to enjoy the richness of fellowship that exists in this group. And Lord, thank you for putting this amazing Christian chamber together. It is such a gift. And as someone walking into this new, it is so amazing to see the depth of relationships and how you are connecting people and how you are growing the kingdom through this chamber. So thank you so much. May we be changed today as we listen to Lee speak. May we be challenged today as we hear his story so that we can be more like you. May we hear with your ears today and see with your eyes, Lord, as you bless this time. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. And now I'd like to go ahead and introduce Ms. Charlotte Bailey with FBC Roofing of Central Florida, also a member of our President's Circle, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Will you stand again, please? Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You can be seated again.
Okay. Now I want to go ahead and give some shout outs to some amazing people and some companies that make these events possible. So our events would not be possible without the support of our sponsors, of course. So thank you to Mr. Evan Hoffman and his team from Photo Sounds of Orlando. He does an outstanding job handling all of our audio-visual needs, and I'm sure if you guys have been to any of our events, you can appreciate that because he's been doing it for a long time and is amazing. So thank you to Evan. Today's lunch is sponsored by Missionary Ventures International. And now I think that we have, yes, go ahead, clap, that's good. So if you want to go ahead and turn your attention to the screen, we have a brief video about Missionary Ventures International, and it shows the amazing work that they do to share the gospel around the world.
For more than 2,000 years, the gospel's been spreading across oceans, continents, permeating families, communities, and nations, reaching places in our world that once were unknown and undiscovered. Yet the work is not yet complete. There are still millions who've yet to hear, yet to understand, yet to encounter the redemptive, life-changing power found only in Christ. Hi, my name is Bill Snell, President of Missionary Ventures International. For more than 30 years, we have sought to spread the gospel through communication as well as demonstration. And we've been privileged to see God working in amazing ways in more than 100 countries. We know that the world is becoming an increasingly diverse place, so for this reason, we take an entrepreneurial approach to ministry, seeking to combine a person's individual desires and passions with the work of ministry, that which every Christian's been called to. Because the work of ministry isn't limited to clergymen and women, to theologians or seminarians, we see God using builders, educators, and single moms in extraordinary ways. Around the world, millions are being saved through faith in Christ because of people just like you. At MVI, we specialize in ministry initiatives, each one designed to involve people to impact nations for Christ. They are church planting, Bible training, Christian education, health and community development, and mobilization. So as you can see, no matter what your specific skill sets are, you have something to offer, something which God can and will anoint while fulfilling your greatest desires in life. So here's my invitation to you. It's threefold. Join the MVI prayer team because intercession matters greatly. God answers prayer. Get personally involved, either long or short term. Engage by joining a short-term mission trip, or better yet, recruit a team with your friends and through your local church. Give. Every gift matters. Financial partnership has been God's way of providing needed resources for our mission causes and strategies. We're stronger and more effective together. Will you pray? Will you give? And will you go? Talk to us today and we'll pray with you and explore ways in which you can help reach the world for Christ in a more personally satisfying manner. In Matthew 28, Jesus said, "Go into all the world and make disciples, baptizing them and teaching them all that I've instructed, and I will be with you everywhere you go and in everything you do." Let's do this, and let's do it together.
Thank you. Thank you to Missionary Ventures. And Mr. Bill Snell, if you can just go ahead and stand up or raise your hand so that we can recognize him right there. That is Mr. Bill Snell. He is the CEO of Missionary Ventures. So thank you so much to you and to Missionary Ventures and to other sponsors like you for making these events possible. So we really, really, really need the support of sponsors such as Missionary Ventures in order to have all of these events. So thank you to all of our partners. Your investment does ensure that we can continue to work together to build our kingdom, to build our businesses, and to also support our local communities. So thank you to our sponsors. Events. You do not want to miss out on a lot of our very exciting upcoming events. I will say the calendar is completely jam-packed with stuff. So to highlight a couple things, Tuesday, March 16th, you can join us for our Kingdom Commerce University, which is learning to chamber the Kingdom way. Thursday, March 18th, our Christian business women will be meeting to discuss how to surrender your life and business to God. On Tuesday, March 23rd, Cindy Price shares excerpts from her newest book, The 7 L's of Financial Planning. Those are all very exciting events coming up. And then all of these are on the website too, so it's a lot to remember. But if you go to the website, look at the calendar of events, you can register for all of these through the link. Then I think the next slide is going to talk about Landon Connor. Where is Landon? He's somewhere there he is in the back. I'm sure everybody's been seeing him walk around throughout the event and take our amazing pictures. He does a great job. He is offering a Headshot Happy Hour for free. He's doing it one Saturday for 3 months, for the next 3 months, if that makes sense. So I'm actually signed up for the Saturday in April. He has a lot of time slots still available. I'm very excited to get my new glam shot. It's been a few years. So what an exciting chamber perk. So really you need to go through the website to register for that, and then he'll reach out to you to give you a specific time and some more information. But he's amazing. He's here in person, so if you want to talk to him after the meeting, feel free to do that. Also, I do want to share just a little quick thing that's hot off the presses. It's not even on the website yet. It hasn't been announced, so I'm going to give you a little sneak peek to something. My good friend and partner who I work with, Mr. Jim Roman, if you want to raise your hand over there, he's a motivational speaker and a business coach, and he will be presenting on Tuesday, April 27th at 12 o'clock. Location to be determined, but I don't want to give too many details about it, but I will say the talk is called Go Big or Go Home, and I have heard him speak several times, and I will say it's a pleasure hearing him speak, and I always leave inspired and also with something that's very specific, action-oriented on how I can do something to help grow my business. So you definitely do not want to miss that event either, April 27th. So now, I think it is my pleasure to go ahead and introduce my dear friend, the amazing and beautiful Chamber President, Crystal Parker.
Well, she said she set out 2 years, but she's not rusty, huh? She's doing a great job. Yeah, great job. Thank you. Thank you guys all for being here today, and I wanted to say hi to the folks online, so thank you for that. So many amazing stories. I watched that video with Missionary Ventures, and looking at the credits there, I see CM Productions Hello, is that a chamber member? Where is she at? She's right here. She put that together for him. Fabulous job. Great video. Great video. Yeah, and then I got to hear Amy talking about working with Jim, 2 Christian chamber members working together to create Kingdom Commerce. That's what we're about. That's what we do. That's why we do it. And I just in the last week have heard 3 or 4 different stories that I've been involved in where chamber members are working together, doing business together, strengthening each other, praying for each other, and making a difference in this world through their vocations. And that's ultimately why we are the refreshing alternative to networking and building business. But first, we keep our eye focused on the kingdom. So I'm thrilled to be your president and to be here with you today. We have a really exciting event. Amy kind of opened the door for things that aren't quite on the calendar. I'll give you a little insight of something that's not on the calendar yet either. But you can take out your phones and write this date down, because October 26th, 27th, and 28th, we are going to launch our inaugural U.S. Christian Business Expo. I know, right? It's like, whew. So if you're serving on that Business Expo team, you just raise your hand here. So we've got a few people in here serving on that Expo team that are just here. That doesn't count the people that are spread out that are also part of that team and committee. So even though it's months and months away, we're already preparing for this inaugural event. It will sell out. Because we are limited in space, and that's the idea. We want to make this event incredible and be able to serve our businesses, to support them as they build kingdom, business, and community, not just in Central Florida, but around the nation. And that's ultimately the vision. I think we're going to be doing a little soft sales. We only have a limited number of sponsorship options available, and we really want to have a variety of industries represented on our expo floor. And so Arnold and Stephen, could you guys stand up for me so people can see you? If you're interested in being a part of that and being one of the sponsors for this event, make sure one of these 2 gets your cards, because once we open it up, again, it's very limited, and tickets will go on sale sometime in April, so be prepared. So thank you guys for being here, and thank you for the work you're doing to make this a great event. Okay, so let me talk about the President's Circle. President's Circle, they're obviously hosting today. So the mindset behind the President's Circle was creating a membership level. My good friend Kirkendall and I were talking, and he's back there. Don, wave your hand. There he goes. You may have saw him back there. Affordable One Insurance. He's back there. Pete Fultz, you're back there. You've got a table. Where are you at? There's Pete. And I think I saw Mark make it in. There's Mark. So thanks for your exhibit. So make sure you stop back, find out what they're talking about and how they serve you and serve the community as well. But Kirkendall and I were talking about different membership levels and ways that we can better serve the membership and those that are part of the chamber. And so the President's Circle came to mind. Plus I was thinking, how is it that we can engage people in different areas of where they are in their business? And so if you're a member of the President's Circle and you're in this room, could you please stand up so we can recognize you? And thank you for your contribution. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Congrats. So President's Circle members, one of the additional benefits that they get, in addition to all of the chamber benefits, is 4 times a year they're going to come together for a mastermind group, which we're calling that a kingdom-minded mastermind. They also have the opportunity to invite people in their office to engage in the chamber. So for example, imagine you're the leader of your organization and you have young professionals, and you want young professionals to get involved in Christian chamber business. And so their young professionals get involved. They have Christian business women working in their organization that can jump into our events. They have employees that can come to every one of our Fellowship Fridays, and every time that you're present at any of these meetings or your employees are present, guess what? You're getting exposure for your business. You're getting your story told. So there's something for everybody in the office in that President's Circle. I would say jump in now, because right now it is a $1,000 membership. I expect as we continue to grow that it will go up. So I highly encourage you, and I just want to thank you. It is growing. These are all the members of the President's Circle right now, and we'll continue to see that grow and just see what God's going to do. I recently heard a podcast, Craig Groeschel, Leadership Podcast, and he had John Maxwell on there. And he was interviewing John Maxwell, and John said he just got done talking in front of 30,000 people. And he was signing books, and somebody came up to him and said, I would love to do what you do. And John says, but are you willing to do what I did? Every single person in this room is doing the did. And I'm so proud to be a part of your grind, your sweat, your tears, your effort, and the hard work that you're doing. By pouring into yourself and professional development, not only are you growing, you're growing your business, you're growing personally, professionally, but the people that work in your organization are benefited from that, as well as your customers. And as you serve more, you share more about the kingdom of God and who we serve. And so Mark Abram, back there in the back, Thrivent, he invited me to attend a podcast that they were doing, and he says it's on time management. So I'm listening in during COVID, you know, one of those late nights working where you just want a little background noise, and I was completely taken by this podcast. And he was talking about time management. He was all practical, pearls of wisdom, amazing things. And then he said he was from Orlando. And I said, whoa, this Disney exec from Orlando, maybe there's a chance that he would answer me if I reached out to him on LinkedIn. So I was going big or going home, Jim Roman. And I decided I'm going to reach out to this guy. He's probably never going to get back to me, you know. And you know what? Within hours, he did. And not only did he get back to me, I was still bold in my ask, and I said, would you come in and just share with the Christian Chamber some of the things that you teach? Because this guy has done it. You've read his bio. I could sit here and read it. You've got some information at your table about him as well. And not only did he say yes, he said, how can I serve and what can I do to help? I can't wait, and I'm honored to introduce to you and to bring into light into this Christian Chamber the amazing Lee Cockerell. Lee.
Thank you. Thank you. Very nice. Good. Well, it's good to be here. All right, so I don't have a lot of time, so we're going to talk about time today because you don't have enough time, and none of us do, and it's getting worse by the day. So I've been teaching time management for 35 years, but I'll tell you a little bit about me so you kind of put my life in context. I grew up in Oklahoma on a little farm. We didn't even have indoor plumbing, which my grandkids don't believe, but when you're a kid, you don't even care. You don't even know. That's the way it was. So it's okay with us. My mother didn't like it too much, but it was fine. My mother was married 5 times. She was kind of busy. And her grandfather was a Pentecostal preacher. So I'm not sure what he was teaching. Because they were, anyway, and I've been adopted twice. I got my name Cockerell when I was 16 by husband number 4. My mother started making better choices because he was a doctor and had money. The first 3 guys were not good choices. And so I got to go to college. And I went to Oklahoma State University for 2 years. Oh. And if I'd have gone to class, I would have graduated. But 2 good things happened. I flunked out, went in the Army. That was probably what I needed to do in the first place because it was 1964. I was immature. I grew up in a little town. I didn't know from nothing. I never read the paper in my life or watched the news. I didn't know anything about anything. And so that was a good. But the good thing is, last year I gave the commencement address at Oklahoma State. So I got even with her. And also I'm on the board of the business school there. So don't underestimate what can happen. Don't underestimate what you can achieve, and don't underestimate the influence you have every day. If you'd have told me when I was 20 years old I'd be running Disney World operations in 35 years, I'd say, you got to be the craziest person in the world. But it happens because you get smarter, you know more, and I did. So time management became more and more of a challenge because, you know, as you get more responsibility, you get more anxiety. And when I was in the Army, it was great. I didn't worry about anything. My life was perfect. I did what they said because you better. And they're not interested in your way of doing things. And so that was good. So I just did what they said. And then next thing I know, I got out of the Army, and then I went to Washington, D.C. and got a job as a banquet waiter at the Washington Hilton Hotel in D.C. That's where Ronald Reagan got shot by John Hinckley back in '83. Actually, I was just down the street that day that happened. And that was a change in my life, to get exposure to people from all over the world. When you're in the hotel business and the restaurant business, and you live in Washington, D.C., everybody's from somewhere else. You can tell what countries are having a civil war now by the cab drivers in Washington. They're all escaped their countries and they're driving cabs in New York and Washington. So it was an amazing experience for me. And I worked for Hilton for 8 years. Met my wife there in the hotel. She had the office next to mine. She used to come in my office to sharpen her pencils. And that's because I had the only pencil sharpener. It was screwed to the file cabinet. I don't know if you remember those. Some of you do. And lucky for me. And we've been married 52 years. And she said she's going to stay. So I know I'm doing better than I used to do when I was busy in my career. And then we moved to Chicago, and we had a baby. Yeah, Chicago. Ooh, do that again. And then we moved to New York City. I worked at the Waldorf Astoria in New York for 3 years, and then we lived out in Queens, and then we moved to Tarrytown, New York with Hilton, and then we moved to Los Angeles. And after Los Angeles, I ended up with a boss. I didn't like him. I don't know if he liked me. Anyway, I quit. Went to a new job in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and doubled my salary and got fired 90 days later because the place went bankrupt. So now I got a Volkswagen, a 2-year-old, a wife, no money. The sheriff confiscated our furniture because we broke the lease on the apartment. $2,000 to get it back. I didn't have any money. I had a life insurance policy. I had $2,000 cash on it. Finally got that back. Got a job with Marriott 3 months later from somebody who knew me at Hilton. And I worked for Marriott 17 years, and I became the vice president of food and beverage operations for Marriott Worldwide because I had focused on the food business. I tell young people today, become an expert in something. It'll always give you a way out if whatever else you wanted to do doesn't work out. And then in 1990, I got recruited by Disney to go to France and open Disneyland Paris. And then 3 years after that, we got a French daughter-in-law out of that, by the way. Disney gives you a lot. And I have the magic. I have 3 grandkids that are half French, half American, and they're great. They like me better than their parents. So I buy them iPhones. I have Venmo on my phone when they need it. And if you don't know what that is, you will. They don't want a check. They want cash now. And so that all worked out good. I retired when I was 62, 15 years ago, and started a little consulting business and writing books. I've written 4 books on leadership management, customer service, time management, career management. We just wrote another book. It's a business course for the State University of New York on entry-level business course for freshmen, and we just did another one on how to hardwire the magic, we called it, which is how to put it in your business and keep it there. And so we keep doing a lot of things. I have a podcast. It's 350 episodes on it. It's 15 minutes every Tuesday. It's called Creating Disney Magic. If you want to use it, it's free. And I guarantee you, if your people just start listening to those, they will get better at what they do. We talk about leadership, we talk about management, customer service, we talk about anxiety, depression, the issues we're going in, family issues. We talk about how to hire, how to fire, how to do it, and to do it the right way. and they're only 15 minutes. And the reason we left it at 15 minutes, nobody can focus more than 15 minutes anymore, especially young people. And so that's the kind of stuff we're doing just for fun. And I like it. It's my golf game. I grew up a very insecure person with 5 fathers and 2 or 3 names. And so people say, why do you speak now, Lee? Why don't you just be retired? And I said, because people clap. And I need the reinforcement. I'm very insecure. Yeah. And when I play golf, nobody claps, so I quit doing that. And actually, they are mean to me when I play golf. So. But I want to talk to you about time. I went to a time management seminar in 1982 or 3. I was very disciplined already, but I didn't have a system, and life got more complicated. Now I've got a wife and a baby and a job, and my boss wants it done by 5 o'clock Friday, and your mother-in-law's flying in at Tuesday at 3, and it's Christmas is coming, and you got another baby, and I mean, it piles up on you. And I guarantee you, there's people sitting in this room today, and you all have kids, and you have parents and grandparents that are suffering from anxiety today. I guarantee it, and depression, perhaps even. And a lot of that is life has really become pretty tough, and it's at every level: grade school, high school, middle school. And so I took the course. It was probably I told my boss I couldn't go. I didn't have time, because that's what we don't have time to do the things we ought to be doing. We have time to do the thing we like, but not what we should do. And so I went anyway, because you know how bosses are. They're unreasonable. And they make you do things you don't want to. They're kind of like wives, you know. They're unreasonable. You told me your wife was somewhere. I don't know if you were joking or what. Anyway, it was unbelievable what I learned. A system of how to keep your life under control. It's not about time management. It's about managing your life, not your time. We all got the same time. Everybody's got a different life. In my book, Time Management Magic, there's a quote in there that says, if you don't take the time to plan the life you want, you're going to spend a lot of time living a life you don't want. You know anybody in that situation in your life? Bad decisions? And as they say, you're not a product of your circumstances. You are a product of your decisions in your life. So you can just be thinking about that. You know which ones are wrong. Getting fired was not fun. That was not a good decision. My wife told me not to take the job, and I told her I know what I'm doing. Because men, we know what we're doing. We don't need feedback and advice, but I take it well now. So after that, basically I learned, I'll tell you quickly the system. It's going to be a short time management course for you, since we only have a short time. But you get yourself a planner, or a phone, or whatever you're going to do, because without a planner, you're not going to have anything to plan in. And there's half the population or more thinks that they can remember everything and they can get it done. Therefore, they don't do much, because they adjust their life to the volume, and they don't take risks, and they don't take chances, and they don't go back to school, and they don't take a course, and they don't get on the internet and learn something, and their brain adjusts to what they can understand. So get yourself a planner. The way you use a planner, people say, how do you decide what to put in there to do today? First of all, you every day before you start your day, you think about yesterday. It's reflection. It's called reflection. Think about everything you did yesterday. What didn't you do so well? How many of you on the way home think of things, oh gosh, or after you get home, or in the middle of the night? Oh. Always fix yesterday first. Call that client back when you think about, I should have told them this. I got to call them about the contract because I put something in there it shouldn't have been in there. I need to sit down with my manager again because I was coaching them about their career and I didn't tell them everything because I got nervous and let it go. All the stuff we do every day that we just don't do completely well. And you can just mentally go through what you did yesterday. Think, was there anything you could have done better? If there was, put it in your planner to do today and fix it. 99% of the time, you will fix it before your client knows about it. Before anybody, you will almost always get to it before anybody else, and you'll fix it. You'll turn it around, and your clients will be impressed. Second thing you do, you think about the responsibilities you've signed up for in your life. And everybody in this room's got a different list. It depends who you are, how old you are, what your circumstances are. You know, first, if you have a spouse or a friend or a boyfriend or a girlfriend, I would say that's the person you ought to be thinking about every morning. Is there anything you need to do today in your planner? Do you need to say, I love you? Do you need to send them make a reservation for dinner? Do you need to, whatever you need to do, talk to them about something you need to do with the kids on the weekend, talk about finances, make sure they understand where everything is in case you die. I mean, literally. Then, second, your children. What do you need to do for your kids this week? You ought to think about those every morning. Should you get their reservation for camp already because it's coming up in June? Should you make an appointment to go see their teachers several times a year so the teachers know you are involved and you care and your kid will get more attention? Should you get them a tutor? Should you have a talk with them about the birds and the bees before it's too late? You want to keep your life under control? You better have that talk. This is what people don't do the things that should be done, and then things happen that shouldn't happen. It's not you don't get in trouble for what you do, you get in trouble in life for what you don't do. This is where you get in trouble. And most people don't do the hard things. What other responsibilities you have? Your mom and dad and grandparents. You're going to have to get involved in taking care of them as they get older. Have you had those discussions with them now while they're feeling well, they're good, there's no dementia, everybody's cool? Your parents and grandparents can handle it. You are the problem. They've been there. They know life's rough. They know. They can have those talks. So get it down. Talk to them. Tell them on next Saturday. Like to sit down and have a talk with them about all that stuff, and do it when they're at the right age that you can get this all right and get it right, because that can become a disaster later on. And people don't, you know, dementia sets in. You can't get the wills signed. You can't get the documents signed. You can't get the trust done. And do the hard things. Your own development and education. Are you going to go back to school this year? Are you going to take a course? Are you going to go listen to my podcast? Are you going to go, whatever you're going to do, what are you going to do for your career? What are you going to do for your finances? Do you have your act together? Really? Don't try to run them yourself on the internet. Get an expert to help you and make sure you're on the right track. You run them on the internet, you'll be working till you're 100. Because you will screw up. 90% of Americans retire with a negative net worth because they don't get started early enough, they don't have the right plan, and I can guarantee you if you do the right thing for 40 years, you'll be fine. You will be fine. Just simple interest and time alone will get you where you need to be. But most people don't do it because they're going to do it. And then it's Christmas again. And then I said there's only 4 ages anyway, so you better get with it. You're born, you're 21, you're 65, and you're dead. So you decide, right? I don't know. I'm in the ozone. That's why I pay attention to this stuff. People say, what's that? I said, the obituary zone. You know? I'm going to be 77 next week, and that, you ever look in the paper? That is not a good number. You look over there, 74, 72, 71, 65, 42. The women, 100, 120, 130. So I'm telling you, take this stuff seriously. Today, there's going to be some people in this room that change the way they do things from what they hear today. There's going to be a bunch of people in here that are going to do nothing. Nothing. Because when you do nothing, nothing happens. And you'll have a lot of excuses, a lot of reasons. What other responsibilities you have? It depends. Your faith. Being involved in this organization. You got things to do. You got to put it in your planner. You got a report to do. You got to make some calls this week. You got to raise some money. Every part of your life you need to know. Make a list of what you believe the responsibilities are for your life. And they're not just your job and your family. They are certain things. Your health. How many people believe your health is your responsibility? What is more important than staying alive right now for you? I mean, anybody got that? Let me tell you, your health. And this is the one everybody talks about, and we talk about it, and we blah, 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 and nobody does anything about it. And let me tell you, when I worked at Disney, I focused on 3 things: hiring the right people, training, and treating them right. Hiring, I always said, the formula in life is hire them right, train them right, and treat them right. And people will stay and actually do a good job, and you'll get productivity, you'll make a lot of money. Most people hire too fast, they fire too slow, they don't train their people, people don't have a clue what they're doing, they get frustrated, they quit, and they don't get treated well, they don't get respected, they don't get included in conversations, nobody asks their opinion, and you keep having turnover. So you got to think of, are you doing the right things? Are you focused on the right things? So that's what I did at Disney. Only those 3 things. I didn't focus on engineering. I had people doing that. I didn't focus on food and beverage. I had a guy who ran that. I had somebody that ran retail, security, bus transportation. I don't do that stuff. People say, well, what'd you do? I said, nothing. I just made sure things got done. I'm not an expert in those areas. I had to hire experts and then leave them alone. And by the way, if you're hiring people and paying a lot of money to do something and you're making them come to you for approval and everything, you've either hired the wrong person or you need to go see a psychiatrist and find out what your problem is, why you need control. You probably have a marriage problem by then too if you're a control freak. And they will do the job. And when you got to make sure that everything's getting done right, then you got to decide where to spend your time. And that's where I spent mine, and I was very effective at it. Because if you hire the right people and you train them and you treat them right, everything's going to go just great. If you hire idiots, don't train them, treat them badly. I mean, come on. You know, it's just common sense. There's no upside to treating people badly. Anybody think there's an upside to being mean and being the boss and pushing people around? If you think there is, try it on your wife tonight. You'll find out how well that works. There is no upside, none, 0, 0, 0. So stop it. Today, after I retired, my wife gave me 3 new priorities. I said, what's that? She said, well, you don't have to hire and train and create a culture at Disney anymore, so here's your 3 new ones. First, number 1, take care of yourself so you can take care of us. Number 2, take care of your family. Number 3, you can take care of your job. If you have any time left over, then you can play golf or go help Kim Kardashian with her problems. You know? But don't be wasting your time doing nonsensical stuff if you don't have your health together, you don't have your family together, and you don't have your income together. And probably your spiritual needs. Really. I mean, and I would say there's a bunch of people in every group I speak to and everybody I know in life that don't have this together. Right? Because people don't do hard things. We take the easy route. We got people working for us that ought to be not working for us. Half of having the right people in your organization is not only hiring the right people, it's getting rid of the wrong people. And it's not being mean. Those people, if you've been clear with them when you hired them and set the expectations and you've trained them and they don't do the job, they fire themselves. You don't do that. That's them. Shame on you. And by the way, it's irresponsible. It's irresponsible to the organization, to the other employees, and put your business at risk. And it affects customers. Do the hard things, not the easy things. Do the hard things, life gets easier. Why do you think people don't exercise? Anybody know why? It's hard. It's hard. Are you crazy? People say, well, I exercise when I get time. You won't ever get time. The refrigerator and the couch will always win. Schedule the priorities in your life. My wife and I have online training because of the pandemic. We had a trainer for years. We do a balance, a weight training, balance training, and agility training every twice a week. And we hate it. I mean, Tuesday night we go to bed, our training is at 8 o'clock in the morning. Oh, God, I wish I hadn't scheduled that. But you schedule the priorities in your life and you will end up doing them. When you start to schedule the priorities in your life, I don't care what they are, your health, your doctor's appointments, how many people don't get to them? The doctor says, well, you haven't been here in 4 years. Women are better at this. Women get those mammograms. Men don't get those colonoscopies, right? Because we're scared. What do you think colonoscopy is bad? Get colon cancer. You die. Nobody should get colon cancer today. That's why it happens because you made a bad decision. Do the hard things. Schedule the hard things. Think about right now, everybody in this room's got 2 or 3 hard things in their life they've been putting off their whole life. I don't know what it is. It could be a relationship. It could be something you wish you could do better, something you're insecure about. I will tell you, take one of those next week and start working on it. I don't care if it takes you a year to get rid of it. And I'm sorry if your wife gets rid of you, but I mean, get rid of it. Get it out of your life. You need to get these things off your mind. You'll sleep better. Life will go better. You're being more fair to people. And after you get rid of that one, get the next one. Get in the habit of doing hard things, because when you get a new habit of doing hard things, it's easy to do hard things. All right? Schedule the priorities in your life. Schedule them. And when you can't do it by yourself, guess what? Go get somebody to help you. Get a neighbor, get a friend, get an accountant, get whatever you need, your father, your mother. You don't have to do anything in life. You just have to get it done. You don't have to do anything. You got to make sure it gets done, though. And so go get help. Ask for help. Most men don't like to ask for help. Well, that's why we got a problem with the military. Depression and anxiety. They're not willing to ask for help. I went through anxiety and depression for 2 years when my wife almost died back in 08, 09. Boy, I learned a lesson. I'd never been depressed a day in my life, and I was 65 when it happened. And I mean, it went down. She came close. She was in the hospital 64 days. The bill was $700,000 from Saturday night to Sunday morning with a intestinal problem and colon problem. And I went to see a psychiatrist, and after I told him about my early life, he said, "I know why you're crazy." I mean, that's what he didn't say it that way, but I knew he meant that way. Huh? He said, "You suffer from what we call a fear of abandonment. You were a little boy, your mother, your people kept changing in your life, and when your wife was going to die, you thought she was going to die, you thought you were going to be abandoned again." He said that came rushing back 60 years later. So, and I was talking to Bristen here. I said, half the stuff in your brain's not true. Half the stuff your parents taught you is not true. Your brain has a bunch of stuff that's up there you don't even know is up there. And it comes out and then makes you do things you shouldn't do. Your brain actually lies to you pretty much every day. So you can try to get to know your brain better, because there's a lot of lies up there, and God knows who put them up there. And you need to rewire it and get some new software, because it's messing up your life. You got to go and try to understand your deepest beliefs. Are they really true? Like I was telling Bristen here, I grew up in Oklahoma in the 40s and 50s. I never met a black person until I was 20 years old. We had a white school, black school, and a third school for Native Americans, separate. Yeah. And then he said, "Well, how'd you get out of that?" I got out of there. I left Oklahoma. They left the gate open one night, and I took off. I took off. And I went in the Army. There's a lot of diversity in the Army, right? And you become friends, and you do things together, and you help each other, and you harass each other. And then I went to Washington, and then I had never been anywhere. Now I've done work, and I've traveled to and do business in 45 countries around the world. I've been to India and China and Cambodia and Vietnam, and I've even been to Baghdad during the war and did work for the military. Flew into Kuwait and flew to Baghdad. And it changes you. Because I'm going to tell you, for you and for your kids, the 3 things you need to be really successful in life, no doubt, education. You can take it in college, or you can take it online, or you can take a course, or you can get your online degree, or you can just pick something and become great at it every day. We got everything in our pocket now. If you don't know anything, it's your own fault. I mean, give me a break. It's not like you have to carry the encyclopedias around with you. I mean, it's right in if you don't know the definition of a word and 5 minutes later you don't know, that's your fault. Don't be blaming the spelling teacher, you know. I mean, everything. Sometimes I'll hear a country on the news, and I say, I didn't even know it was a country. I look it up, and I go, hey, shoot, 4 million people live there. You know, there's so much you don't know, it's unbelievable. And so much you could know, which makes you more well-rounded and more successful. So that are some things you can do. Think about those kinds of things. Are you doing them? So you need education, you need exposure, and you need experience. Those are the things that change you. Experience and exposure changes you more dramatically than a formal education. Exposure, being exposed to people from everywhere, every background, every race, every language, religion, food, you name it. That changes. You can't go back. I went back for my 55th high school reunion 3 years ago, and it was terrifying. People who had not left. Oh. And that's why you send kids to college today, and it's hard to go home at Christmas because your uncles and parents are still talking about people in such a negative way because they learned that from their grandparents. Seriously. So it's the same old thing. I said, when in doubt, if you had a good mother, the best way to think about leadership is manage like a mother. Mothers have two things that you need in business: empathy and discipline. If you're missing one of those, you'll never be successful. If you don't have empathy so people understand you and you understand them and they know you care about them, and you don't have discipline where you'll deal with the hard things and have the hard conversations, then you're not going to be successful. If you have empathy and no discipline, people think he never gets anything done, he's not reliable. If you have discipline and no empathy, they'll think you're a jerk. I mean, seriously. And you got to think about those two. When you raise your kids, you got to think of balance, the balance of empathy and discipline. And that's exactly what every mother has. Mothers don't care if you're happy. They care if you're successful. How many of you had a mother that kicked your butt?
Oh, yes.
My mother was a terrorist before they had them. Right? You didn't mess around with her. And we didn't like her very much when we were 13, 14, 15, 16. Then we came back and liked her better after we had kids. And these are the things you got to think about. Are you as good as you think you are? Are you as successful as you think you are? Do you have as much empathy as you think you do? People need empathy today. They need appreciation, recognition, and encouragement. Let me tell you, this is the fuel that drives human performance, showing appreciation, recognition, and encouragement. I used to tell my wife I loved her annually. I mean, after 30, 40, 50 years, you forget to do the right things. A few years ago, I got called on that by somebody. I was giving a speech, and I went home and said, "Priscilla, I love you." She said, "What's going on here?" I tell my wife I love her every day, and it changed our relationship because I just had fallen into that. Well, she ought to know. I told her back in 1968 I loved her. I haven't given you any other information, so that should stick. But it's not true. People need it, and they need it frequently. And mothers know this. How often do you tell your child you love them? Do you love them?
Do I love them? I love them.
And the other thing is you love them more than you love your husband.
Don't tell him that.
It's an amazing thing. And the reason your kids, that affection they're getting from you and somebody loving them, and somebody later when they're 13 or 14, the discipline starts, and you got to do that too. You'll have kids that grow up and go out and they're great people. And how many of you know families that have kids that are scary? And it's not the kid's fault. It's like in business. If your bathroom is dirty in your business, that's your fault. Don't be blaming anybody else. If the landscaping's not right, don't blame the landscapers. That's your fault. You get what you want. Mr. Marriott told me years ago, he said, "Lee, the only way you get excellence is training and enforcement of that training." And he told me also, if you have flies in your restaurant, it's because you like flies. If you have rude children, that would be you. If you have whatever you got, you own it. And we're in a situation today in the world where everybody wants to blame somebody else. You know, I could blame my mother or I could get over it, you know, because nobody cares about you basically, except maybe your mother. Seriously, people are so busy with their own lives, you've got to pick it up and do what you got to do to get where you want to go. And you got to do the right things, and it's hard. But the more you do the hard things, the less hard things you're going to have to do. So those are some ways to think about it. I don't know how long I'm supposed to talk. I could just go on and make you really miserable, but depressed after you've heard all this. But I'd like to take some questions if you have any. Am I supposed to take questions now? Is that a good thing to do?
We'll take one question.
One question. Okay, sir.
No pressure. You're the one.
Teach your golf game, by the way.
Stand up and tell us who you are.
Oh, I'm another one. Steve Craig, KCG Engineering. So the question is, that pencil sharpening device that you described earlier, was it your idea or your wife's idea to break all the other pencil sharpeners in the office?
I don't know if there were other, but the other side of the story I didn't tell you is my wife wouldn't go out with me for a year. Because she had a boyfriend and she told me I had a bad attitude. I said, I just want to take you to lunch. She said, I don't think so. It took 1 year before she went out with me. But if you can get them to lunch, then you get them to dinner, and then and you drive. So but the pencils, number 2 pencils, baby, that's the way to go.
Can you give some examples about the brain lying to us? That caught my attention.
That was good. Yeah, I think.
The question for the online.
Yeah, your brain lying too? Sure. There's things up there that happened to you when you were 2 years old, 3 years old, maybe in school. You've long forgotten about it. The brain keeps it, subconscious, and it makes you believe who you are and what you believe in. And you heard people saying racist things when you were growing up, and bigotry, and the brain is accumulative. I mean. And I say to tell people today, if you want a cleaner brain, be careful who you hang out with. Be careful where you go. Being in this church probably helps clean your brain because you're getting positive things going in. I mean, literally, if you live out there and you're in poverty and you have no job and you have no father and you're no air conditioning, you're living in this filth, your brain, that's all it knows. And that's why you got to get people into the right environment if you want to turn them around. Because if you get in the right positive environment, you will get better. If you get in a negative environment, you'll get worse. And how many of you worry about who your kids are going to hang out with when they're 12, 13, 14, 15? The house you don't want them to go to. We all do, because they will learn things. Everybody's screaming about the Dr. Zeus or whatever his name is. What's it? Dr. Oz? No, what's his name? Dr. Zeus. I think it's a good idea not to let little kids be exposed to racist things about the Chinese and black people. Why would you want to have them read that? The books are still available. Have them read it when they're 13 and get the message. But what you share with children at the young age, that becomes fact, and especially if you're their parent. Kids believe their parents, and so you got to be careful. I mean, what you're putting up there every day, what you're saying when you're on the phone, your kids are listening, what you're saying about what the call was about when you hang up the phone, what you say to your parents. People say, well, the kids are asleep. Kids are never asleep. They've already got a listening device in your bedroom. They're listening to you every night. They know everything. They know everything. You don't fool a kid. They're over in the corner playing. They hear it. They know. They watch you when you do something. And my son was little. He was with a neighbor, and they went through a toll booth in Chicago, by the way, where you're supposed to throw the money in. And the guy didn't. He just acted like he did. He thought that was funny. He went on. And my son came home and talked about that. He saw that. He saw that. So I don't know what those kids are doing. Maybe they're paying toll fines now. But anyway, those are just good fun things. If you want to read any of my books, they're right there. You got a bookmark in front of you. If you want, if you buy my books, my grandkids get to go get their master's degrees because I can pay for it. So. Anyway, it's good to be here. Y'all are doing great work. Thank you, Crystal, and keep going. Keep doing it. Yeah.
Thanks, Lee.
And you can see we have Lee's website up there. You can find everything in one place. He wants to make it simple for you, so you can reach out to him. He's going to be here until about 1:20, then he's going to leave. We'll get on with our live Zoom here very soon, and he's going to jump on the live Zoom for a moment. But I thought it was a great segue to come up when Lee was talking about how important it is to be around people that are speaking into you. It tells us in the Bible to guard your heart, right? Guard your heart. And when we think about guarding our heart, it's guarding your heart from the things that go in here, guarding your heart from the things that go in here, and the things that you speak, that you environments that you're in. And I think it also speaks to iron sharpening iron. And that's what we're about here at the Christian Chamber, is fueling each other on, speaking life into each other's business, and providing experience, exposure for your business, and education. And so, wow, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And I want to call up our awesome EMC, after 2 years in retirement, coming back onto the stage. Help me welcome her up, Amy Lloyd.
Thank you. I will say that definitely resonated with me, many things that you said. The mom of 3 children, boys, all boys, 10, 7, and 1, well, almost 2. So I hear you, and they do hear everything. I'm sure they have listening devices in our bedroom. So I took a lot of notes and a lot of things away from that. But for you guys to think about, like, what hard thing do you need to schedule? I talk to my husband about that all the time. So about prioritizing health, colonoscopy, those type of things. So that's an amazing takeaway. So really think about that. So I wanted to just really quickly, because I know we're on a little bit of a tight timeline, use what Lee Cockrell talked about in order to transition into, one, talking about what we're going to do next month, but also talking about the empathy that you mentioned, talking about iron sharpening iron and the group that we're involved here. It is super important to be around people who inspire you, who challenge you, who don't just say and appease you. And I have been here for 7 years as a member, and I will say, in regards to prioritizing my health as one thing, I had an amazing opportunity just recently, so I want to give a shout out to online, both to Phil and Karen Scholler, who are pastors and members of the church here. I have been struggling with a back issue and my seizures, and I put it out there. They came to my house yesterday, do not know me very well, saw on Facebook I was struggling, came to my house on Phil's birthday, prayed for me, listened to me, counseled me. You do not get that kind of empathy, love, dedication time anywhere else. And I have been here for 7 years. This group has changed my life personally, professionally. I mean, that's not just a plug for the chamber. I mean, my life has become so much more fulfilled and blessed, and I've been able to pour back into people from this group. So I cannot encourage you enough, if you are new here, which I would love, just if you could raise your hand if this is your first meeting or first time at the chamber. I know I brought a couple of people that are here. Look at all of you can just raise your hand. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. This is such an amazing place to be. So thanks for taking the first step. But this place has sincere business people who do care about each other, both personally and professionally. So that's just my little aside. So thank you, Lee. That was very inspiring. I appreciate it. Next month, our guest speaker is going to be Dr. Charles Coker of Life Thrive. It's going to be on Thursday, April 8th. And the location is going to be announced. So that will be coming soon on the website. The lunch sponsor is going to be Christian Leadership Alliance. And then tomorrow, we have double the fun for our Fellowship Fridays. Beachside East, which is with Gigi Mack. She's an amazing real estate agent if you have not met her. She will be hosting it over in the morning in Daytona Beach. And then our virtual Zoom Fellowship Friday will go live at 12 o'clock. And then, of course, always check out our website for a complete list of all of our upcoming events. And I feel like I can't mention it enough, but it takes a lot of work and people to make these events possible. So I want to spend a few minutes just thanking all of our sponsors, as you can see on the screen. Thank you to Missionary Ventures, Seacoast Bank, the Christian Chamber, Crew, Affordable One with Don Kirkendall, Christian Leadership Concepts, Land Title Professionals, Land and Connor Photography, Triangle Media, let me make sure I get it right, Mary Beth, Sundancer Virtual Services, right there, and Photo Sound of Orlando for all of our virtual and audiovisual needs. So thank you to all of our sponsors. We exist to support our members. So if you are interested in becoming a sponsor and increasing your visibility to help build your business while furthering our mission, which I'm sure you know by now is to build kingdom, business, and community, please see either Mary Beth, Crystal, or you could go to the website to find out how you can become a sponsor. I was a sponsor for a year. It has a lot of opportunities for you. So with that being said, I want to ask Reverend Ron Warren to come up. It would not be an actual event if we did not have him closing us out in the benediction. So please welcome him to the front and stay with us online because we're going to be doing our breakout session shortly. So.
And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Tell Aaron, this is the way you are to bless my people. Bivarekaka Adonai v'hishmereka, Ya'er Adonai panavaleka v'kuneka, is Adonai panavaleka v'yasimleka shalom." The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you his peace. And the scripture continues, "And they shall place my name upon them, and I will bless them. Ken Yahi Rashon." Yes, let it be so. Amen.
I think Crystal has a question of the day. So everybody stay at your seat. We're going to interact with the people at our table online. Zoom link is coming so that you guys can do the breakout session.
Yeah, thank you. What we're going to do is we're going to move into some table talk, so you'll get a chance to interact with the folks at your table. We're here till 1:15, but you can linger a little longer if you'd like. The question of the day is, get ready for it. I'm putting you on the spot, holding you accountable. What hard thing do you need to schedule and why? Okay, online? What hard thing do you need to schedule and why? The Zoom code for that today is 950-9904-0880. We're not calling bingo, we're calling Zoom. So jump on Zoom. Lee is going to meet the Zoom folks online and just say hi to you. So hurry up and get there. He's got to get out of here soon. If you'd like a picture or get to meet Lee, you can chase him down right before he has to leave because he is on a tight schedule. And he left you something at your tables so that you can learn a little bit more about what he does and interact with him. Lee Cockrell Academy is blowing up. It's a great way to train yourself, your people, and get involved. And so thank you again for investing in yourself, investing in the chamber and our mission to build kingdom, business, and community. And thank you to Amy for keeping it together today. So get ready. What hard thing do you need to schedule? Get some business cards. This is just so you can meet folks, but I'm encouraging you to meet outside of here, get to know each other, and do business together. Let's create kingdom commerce. Thanks for coming. Thank you.